Hi. I have been deathly ill for about a week. I'm talking stuck in bed, no energy to do anything. I barely read anything. I didn't read any video games. I just slept most of the week, which is why there was no video on last Sunday. So sorry. And why the 100 books challenge videos have been paused. And I'm still recovering, clearly. I'm feeling a little bit better today, and so I thought that maybe I should start getting my life back together and ready for when I'm no longer sick. My room is a disgusting mess and my sheets need to be washed. There's just a lot that needs to get done, and because I'm so behind now on my 100 books challenge, we have a lot of audiobooks to catch up on. So yeah, before I got sick though, I did have video plans to do a February reading wrap-up, which we will still do. I wanted to talk about my 100 books challenge, which we will still do. Thanks for bearing with me. Welcome to my channel. Let's talk a little bit about the 100 books challenge updates. So first, I had my first ever DNF, and that was Valiant by Holly Black. That is the second book in the Modern Fairy Tales series, and I just could not get into it. There was nothing about it that grabbed my attention, so I ended up DNFing it, which means I'm just not gonna finish that series. So I have 2 books now that I need to add to the series, and I'm trying to decide what it should be. I recently purchased 2 books with my cousin, and while I would love to read those for the 100 books challenge, they are not small books. They are Heartless and Flawless by Elsie Silver. She recommended those to me. I feel like I need to pick 2 smaller books because a lot of the books that I have upcoming are 300 pages plus. So maybe some poetry, find other short stories, I don't know. I would really like to get books read on my shelves, but so I haven't decided what I'm going to replace them with. All I know is I am going to replace them. As for a reading update, I started The Night Country by Melissa Albert. I also started Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han. This was before I got sick. They're still sitting there unread. And then this Sunday, so when this video comes out, I will be going to the Cassandra Clare event at Powell's. And I am still on chapter 2 of Swordcatcher. So I do really want to get that read as well before the event, because the event is for the second book in that series. It's Wednesday, you guys. I have 4 days. I'm also listening to the Percy Jackson series on audiobook, and so I might listen to that while I clean and basically get my life together. So thank you for joining me today. Grab some tea, grab some coffee, grab a snack, get cozy. Let's clean, let's read, let's reset. I just found a bookmark under my mattress. It's a good bookmark too. I love this by Van Gogh. I made chicken nuggets and I cooked them for what I thought the bag said. They were undercooked and I ate a raw chicken nugget. There's nothing like being sick and then accidentally eating raw chicken. So I spit it out. The first 2 bites that I had, I think, were cooked because they were teeny tiny like pieces. But then I was like, wow, this is like a really chewy piece of chicken, and it was raw. So I put the rest back in the oven and I sliced them open. each and every one. The juiciest ones, the biggest ones. I pried those bad boys open to make sure they were cooked all the way through. So I went to the grocery store and I got a bag's worth of stuff for $95. Everything's so expensive now. So I got lots of fruit and I got some liquid IV as well to really rehydrate my body after being ill. And now I just feel like baking a little bit, and I really have been wanting to make a lemon pound cake. Oh, hold on. Hi, Bit. He's just actually interested in getting into the cupboard. I think I'm gonna put on the Great British Baking Show and make my lemon pound cake, and then we'll start talking about books. Kids, do not try that at home. That is so scary. I have regrets. I'm pulling up my 2025 reading challenge so that we can talk about the 35 books that I read in February. I am kind of in a reading slump. I did finish The Battle of the Labyrinth by Riordan, the 4th book in the Percy Jackson series, today while I was running my errands. And honestly, that's the only series right now that I've been able to get through in this slump. Otherwise, I'm just like, ugh, I want to read everything and nothing all at the same time. It's such a weird feeling. Before I forget, really quickly, I want to show you my aunt and uncle sent this beautiful custom-made art piece. It's an original and it's bookshelves, and they sent it to me to celebrate my 100 books in 100 days, and it was just so sweet, and it sits so beautifully next to my paper flowers, which I love. So first of all, the artist's name is Max. Thank you, Max, for painting that for me, and thank you to my aunt and uncle Chris and Andy. To start February off, I read Under One Roof by Ali Hazelwood, and I believe I rated this a 3 out of 5 stars. This was your standard run-of-the-mill romance. Truthfully, there was nothing exciting about it. I don't quite understand the hype behind Ali Hazelwood's writing. Maybe I just need to read something else by her, and maybe not a novella. There was too much that needed to happen and not nearly enough time page-wise. Then I read Heartstopper Volume 2 through 5, so I did finish the Heartstopper series, and none of these were rated below a 3-star. When it comes to graphic novels, I really struggle. I've talked about this before, so I won't get into it. Basically, I do much better with graphic novels that have either a lot of color or a lot of detail, so the monochrome, minimalistic art style just wasn't quite for me. That's okay, it was still a good story. I did start and finish the Caraval series. I do believe that I did a review on this channel as well as a thorough review on my socials, so if you're interested in seeing my more in-depth review of the Caraval series, go check those out. And I read Spectacular as well. Then I read Women by Chloe Caldwell, and I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. Then I read The Tea Dragon Society, all 3, so The Tea Dragon Society, The Tea Dragon Festival, and The Tea Dragon Tapestry, and this was my kind of graphic novel, y'all. There was so much color, so much detail. I absolutely loved it. I also then read The Home Office Romance by Kintetsu Yamada, and I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars because, ugh, how cute. And then I read The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, and I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. This was so jam-packed with detail that I wanted it to move faster. It just felt like it moved really slow for me because of all the details, but if you got rid of the details, then it wouldn't have made sense. Everything in this book was necessary. So I did battle with that, and I think that's kind of what made me like hesitate of giving it a 5 stars, is because it wasn't a 5-star for me, but oh, I see why people love this book so much. Then I read Killjoy by Holly Jackson, and this is the 3.5 novella, so this takes place before all of the Good Girls Guide to Murder books. Okay, we're just gonna get this over with really quickly. I read books 3 through 9 of the Wayward Children series by Shannon McGuire, all of which have been a 3, 4, or 5-star read. They're all interconnected. Some of them follow the same timeline, and some of them follow individual characters and how they came to Eleanor's school for wayward children. Then I read the first 2 books of the To All the Boys That Love Before series. Then I listened to an Audible original called The Messengers by Lindsay Jewell, and I rated this 2 out of 5 stars. Basically, there's an intergalactic war. It takes place in space, and we hit 3 different group POVs, so there's 3 different stories happening all at the same time, but nothing gets accomplished truly in regards to plot. I think there's supposed to be like a deep message here, but I didn't get it, and I don't know. Take that as you will. I think I got it for free on Audible, so I'm not too mad about it, but yeah, that was a 2-star rating. Then I read the first 3 Percy Jackson books. I only own the first 2. Oh my gosh, how have I never finished this series? I've only ever read the first 2 books, and now I'm on book 5. I finished book 4 today. So many great things are happening. Oh my goodness. Love this series. I love too that it's readable for adults. Like, you don't have to be a kid to enjoy the series. There are some children's books where you're like, I grew out of that style of writing, not for me. Rick Riordan is so funny. Love this. Then I read The Little Prince, and this took me forever because I was reading it on my phone before I would go into work, because I thought, oh, it's a children's book, it'll go by really fast. No, this is a deep, beautiful book. It's so cute. It's just about acceptance. Then for my February book club, I read The Hazelwood, as did Kat, and I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. I did really love this. Also, I just love the gold foiling. Then I read The Graveyard Shift by ML Rio, and I have nothing to say about it. It was a book. There were too many point of views and not enough time to get into any of them, truly. So it all felt very surface level, and I wasn't having it. Then I read Cut and Run by Ben Acker. This is another Audible original that I believe I got for free. It was a solid 3 stars for me. I actually enjoyed this a lot more than The Messengers, about these 2 kidney thieves. Like, they go in and they steal kidneys. They end up in a little bit of trouble, and the guy has to tell his girlfriend, who then's like, oh, that's great, I'm on board, let's go, you know, fix stuff and avoid the law and try not to get caught. It is narrated by Meg Ryan. Love her. And then the last book that I read in February was Alice by Christina Henry. I rated this a 3.7 out of 5, and this is a really great retelling of Alice in Wonderland. It's not a horror retelling like I thought it was, but it's definitely a dark, psychological kind of book. And there is a second one. I don't know if I'm gonna read it. I think I like where this left off, but it doesn't complete the full Alice in Wonderland. So in regards of a retelling, this does not finish the classic Alice in Wonderland. Okay, and then just a quick update of what I am currently reading. As you know, I am reading The Night Country by Melissa Albert. I am reading Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han, and I am reading Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. Whew, I have read 47 books this year. Y'all, that's a lot of books. Okay, it is now Friday, so I did skip yesterday because I had work and volleyball and it was great, but just no time to film. But I wanted to do a quick reading update because I did get through a good little chunk of Swordcatcher. So I am now on page 150, and it's finally starting to get interesting. However, there is just so much world building that I personally find unnecessary. Now, this might all be necessary for book 2. I'm struggling. I'm gonna try and listen to this on audiobook today because I need to go to Trader Joe's. A new game came out today that I really want to play. I played a little bit last night. It's called Bookbound. It's $6 right now on Steam. You get to be a little bookshop owner, and you have to order books, and you have to set up your bookshop, and you let people in, and you help them, and then you check them out. And as the game progresses, you gain inspiration so that you can write your own book to sell. So I think it's so adorable, and so I really want to play that. I'm also currently trying to set up a Stardew Valley farm with 3 of my friends. I've never played with a big group of people, so I really want to do that as well. I think my goal for today is to try and get 50% of the way through this book. Let's get going. Okay, weird angle for an update, but we're gonna do an update because I'm holding this chair together. I'm trying to keep it glued together. But I am 49%, oh wow, you can't see that at all. You can kind of see it. I'm 49% of the way through, so almost 50%, we're pretty close. So chapter 12 of Swordcatcher, and it's gotten a lot more interesting now. There's still a lot of world building that just kind of lags. I do have a work meeting in a couple minutes, so I'm just gonna hold my little chair together. But isn't he cute? And he has a pillow. Look at, he has a little pillow. I got my little bookshelf. I'm slowly getting my book nook together for my shelf, but it's a really great way to listen to my audiobook, absorb all of that information, and still have something to do. Okay, so we're gonna just do one last reading update before we wrap up this video. It is the next day because I did some reading in the evening, like in bed before I went to sleep, so we have a little bit of updates. I am in the middle of chapter 15 in Swordcatcher, which is roughly 56% of the way through. My honest thoughts are there's too much world building and not enough plot happening. The balance is just not there. And so I think this is a solid 3 out of 5 stars for me. It just feels as though there's so much history and lore that is put in that is really unnecessary for driving the plot. So if you are a big, I just like hearing about world building, this is a great book for you. But if you're like, it needs to be balanced with the plot and it has to actually contribute to the plot, then this is probably not it for you. The plot is interesting enough for me to continue reading, so I am going to try and finish this. The event is tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it by the time that the Cassandra Clare event takes place. I'm very curious to see how this ends, if it actually picks up, if the history and the lore that we learn in this book comes to anything. Like, do we need that for maybe the second book that comes out? We'll see. Honestly, I bought the ticket mostly because I just wanted to meet Cassandra Clare and have her sign City of Bones and, if possible, Lady Midnight. I don't have any more reading updates per se. I've been really trying to just get through this book, so I haven't really read anything else this week, which is fine. We'll just have to do a lot of catch-up reading later. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please show it some love by giving it a thumbs up or hitting that subscribe button down below. And as always, please remember to take care of yourselves and be kind to one another. And wash your hands, don't get sick. It sucks. Bye.